certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror movie. For instance, number 1, you can never have sex. Big no-no! Big no! Sex equals death, okay? Number 2, you can never drink or do drugs. No, the sin factor. It's a sin. It's an extension of number 1. And number 3, never, ever, ever, under any circumstances, say, I'll be right back. Because you won't be back.
I'm getting another beer. You want one?
Yeah, sure.
I'll be right back.
You see, you push the laws and you end up dead. Okay, I'll see you in the kitchen with a knife.
So me and Sirius went out for a movie date last night, and we went to go and see a brand new movie called The Nun. That's because we kind of wanted to see Happy Time Murders, but it wasn't out anymore at the theater. So we went in, we settled down for our movie, and it was kind of disappointing. First thing to note, this movie is a prequel to The Conjuring, actually a prequel to The Conjuring 2, but it can stand alone up until about the end of the movie, and then you'll be asking yourself, what just happened? Which Steve and I did. Here's my problem with the film. It's predictable, it's thrown together, the sequences don't go together, and I think most of the plot ended up on the editing floor. With The Nun's lack of scares and laughable moments, I started to wonder, while I was watching the film, what would I do if I was in a horror film? So I have about 10 pieces of advice that I would use if I was in a horror film. Number 1, let's split up, gang. Like, groovy, man. I mean, I get it. Daphne and Freddy don't want a nerdy girl, a stoner, and a dog ruining their alone time. But really? The best thing to do in a typical horror movie is never be alone. Make sure you have at least 3 people at a time, because if you only have 2, chances are that the other person is the killer or will be possessed by the killer. It's really good to keep a buddy system. 2 against 1, bam! And if it gets really bad, you can sacrifice the stoner. Woods alone at night? Hey, I got a theory. Don't go into the woods at night. I'm already afraid of the woods for lots of reasons. Have you heard all of the things that can go wrong? Fairies, werewolves, vampires, huge spiders. Not to mention, there's always some scary graveyard in the middle of them. Good for sacrificing young females. If you're camping, stick to your campground near others and do not leave the campground when you hear someone calling your name.
Ashley, come quick, I have chocolate cake and some milk in the deep, dark night forest. Nowhere near any lights.
No thanks. I'll just pass. Number 3. Cell phones and internet. They're a thing. Landline out? Electricity gone? This was a major problem in the past for horror movies. But behold, the internet and cell phones. Sure, yours is on your last bar, but hey, you're near people, and they probably all have a phone, and they've all been Snapchatting the killer already. In some seemingly abandoned town? Great! Break into the local library. Ask the neighbor out there if there's someone in the area who can either call the police or give you a little insight about how to beat this demon. You may even really want to get an electrician to come out to look at your fuse box. Wait, most serial murderers seem to have a knack for knowing where the electricity box is and how to sever it. Maybe you could ask that guy or girl you suspect to be helping the murderer. They could more than likely fix it for you, and if they don't, then you already know that they're working with the killer. Number 4. Does that character have a sob story? Oh, he dead. Oh, congratulations, Smitty. It's your last day of the force. What? You just celebrated your 30th wedding anniversary? And your dog had puppies? Things sound great for you. I'm starting the death counter now. Be as far away from Smitty as entirely possible. If he invites you to his anniversary party the following day, politely decline. Smitty ain't lasting the whole act, and if he is, he's gonna become some demonically possessed Smitty who is hellbent on killing you, so you don't tell the others that he's possessed. Number 5. Is there a mysterious person following you? He's probably a part of the plot line. Everyone's favorite plotline in recent horror movies is that mysterious dude who you know nothing about but seems to be everywhere you are. He's very vague, he's not quite the love interest, he has a really shady reason for being at the haunted school, like he's the caretaker or the groundskeeper. Sometimes he's just in every camera shot, not quite touching you. But he's still close enough to the group to be invited in. Chances are he's the killer, working with the killer, or being possessed by the killer. If you don't know him, thank him for his services and carry your pepper spray really close. Chances are you'll learn more about him being strange and from the mid-1800s very soon. Number 6. Upstairs, downstairs, creepy attic, creepy basement. Why not just leave? No, it is not time for showering. No, it is not time for sex. No, it is not time to lock a door. Get out of that house. Get out of that haunted hospital. Come back when the lights are on. Go to the police station. Even though they don't believe you, just stay at the police station. Block parent? Dang, where are they when you need a place to stay? Go to a neighbor's house. Find a town. Be with people. Nothing good comes from sneaking around an abandoned hospital alone. Even if your friends decide it's cool. Even if they left everything in the exact same place it was when they all left, and maybe even later when it becomes a paintball arena years later. Not that I would have any experience in an abandoned hospital or anything, but, I'm still alive and, moving on. Number 7. The strange amount of tools and utensils you keep out in the open. Does no one childproof their house? How in the world can you have children living there and a butcher knife on your dining room table? Lock up your death things if you hear a killer's on the loose. If it's your possessed doll, why do you have a doll in the first place? Generally because you have kids around, right? Lock up your sharp things, empty your chainsaw, hang up your pickaxe, or just clean up after yourself if there's a killer on the loose, okay? Number 8. Listen to that person you have most doubt in. Crazy Jane lives by herself up the road. She has strange visions and dreams about ghosts that once were related to her. Could be her husband, her nephew, the last caretaker of the haunted school, or the guy who stayed with her once in the same room as that same creepy vague dude. Go talk to Jane. Have tea with Jane. She prefers black coffee with cream. Get her what she needs. Jane says she's done with Sergio, but then she says you look like the ghost's ex-lover. And then when she saw him the last time, she noticed that he was carrying her hair. Dye your hair. Change your appearance. Crazy Jane has totally been through this before. Just listen to Jane. Number 9. Always have lighting on hand. Candles are always the first thing to blow out, and as you struggle to relight them, boo! The scary thing is in your face. Bring batteries for your flashlight, a whole roll of AA's, or C's, or whatever size battery you need. Heck, bring an extra flashlight, or even better yet, go to a lighting store. Sometimes kerosene lanterns are a good bet too. Lighting things on fire keeps the light around. This is an old trick from one of my favorite games, Alan Wake. Stay in the light. And number 10, my last bit of advice today. When in doubt, just stay home that day. Your besties want to rent a cabin in the woods. You're the single friend. They have a friend of a friend coming who seems to know all about the cabin and its secluded area. Better yet, he thinks you're pretty and reminds him of his high school sweetheart who was brutally murdered sometime in the last 10 years near that cabin. Even better, tonight's a full moon and it's also the 10th anniversary of her death. Did you think you could make it for the weekend? The answer is no! Politely decline and stay at home. Be the designated person that they can contact when everything goes awry. If your friends haven't checked in, make sure the police are contacted. Have your friends send their GPS coordinates. Keep them safe, but keep yourself out of that slasher. And that, my friends, is how I would stay safe in horror movies. Nothing ever good comes out of a scary voice coming out from your computer.
Ashley, it's time to go visit the abandoned hospital.
Well, as you can hear, my friend is calling me. Stay tuned to the rest of this video and you'll see what Pixel would do at the end of a horror movie. Thanks. Bye!
Hey, Steve! Boo! 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 Steve, it's a scary mask. Aren't you scared?